Hey everyone, I'm Matt with Ozark Overland Adventures, and in this video we're going to revisit the Bluetti Elite 300. I did a full review of this a few months ago, and at that time it absolutely blew me away that Bluetti was able to cram 3,014 watt hours into a power station basically the size of a 2,000 watt hour power station. This is the most compact and portable 3,000 watt hour power station on the market. And what that has allowed me to do is have a very compact, portable power station that can serve as my legit power backup solution for our Ross Monster truck camper. Now, the Ross Monster has 942 amp hours of batteries in there, which should last us plenty of time for when we're out, in remote off-grid locations. But solar's never guaranteed. The amount of power that we're going to need due to weather is never a sure thing. So it is peace of mind for us to be able to bring basically another 25% worth of power in our Ross Monster and take up very little space. And this allows us the flexibility to bring power away from camp if we need to, the flexibility to wire in new outlets and stuff, maybe in the back of in the cab. So let's get into the specs of this real quick and just kind of revisit that, and then I'll show you how we use the Elite 300 in our setup. So the Elite 300 is a 3,014 watt hour power station that, as you can see, has all the necessary outputs right here on the front. So I don't have to worry about leaving space, around the sides and the back or anything to be able to access certain ports. All the outputs are right here. It's got four, basic 120 volt AC outlets here. It's got a 100 watt USB-C. It has two 15 watt USB-As, a 140 watt USB-C, which is amazing. It has a 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter socket there. It's got a 12 volt 30 amp socket here. This is real handy if you may be building out an overland trailer or need to add extra like USB ports around your RV or van or that sort of thing. You can actually wire those to this 30 amp port, run USB ports or other 12 volt sockets wherever you may need them, and have those available in handy locations around your trailer or van or RV or whatever. That 30 amp plug is super handy. If you want to wire up a diesel heater, this is a guaranteed output for a diesel heater, whereas some diesel heaters aren't going to run off a 10 amp socket. So that's really handy. And then here you have the solar input. This will accept up to 1,200 watts of solar. Right here on the side is your AC input. It will accept up to 1,800 watts of AC input, which means you can recharge this from dead in about 2 hours, which is absolutely fantastic. And as you can see, I have our Ross Monster plugged into this 30 amp port here on the front. And so right now I let my batteries drain down a little bit earlier today. And I am currently recharging the batteries in the Ross Monster with the Bluetti Elite 30, giving me an extra 25% more power if we're ever in a situation when we need it. And then with, the solar on top of the Ross Monster for those batteries, solar for this up to 1,200 watts. We could pretty much live off-grid pretty much indefinitely, I would imagine, with this setup, keeping this recharged, keeping the Ross Monster recharged, using this for supplemental power. It makes a real handy, very compact kind of emergency backup power setup for our truck camper. Now, when we're traveling, this is what the setup looks like. Some of you may be familiar. For a while, I kept the Bluetti Apex 300 in this exact same spot. Now the Apex 300 is still a fantastic power station, and if you need something modular and expandable and customizable, Apex 300 is still fantastic. For our purposes, this combines more power in a smaller space with everything we need already here on the front. The Apex 300 had to have extra things to have DC ports and stuff, but this takes up almost half the space of the Apex 300 in its configuration from a width standpoint, and sits right here, just tucked in here, right in front of this molly panel. I've got these two hooks right here that, because of the handle configuration, allow this to be strapped down, so this isn't going anywhere when we're, going to some remote location out on the trails and stuff. This is staying put and not being jostled around back here in the back of the truck. This allows me to have all the power and USB ports for my little battery charging hub for my cameras. So this allows me to keep these charged while we're on the go, and then I can run the power cord to the back, and while we're driving, the inverter in the back of the truck camper is charging this and charging the house batteries, and this is charging my camera batteries, and the solar is helping, and it's like an endless cycle of power that we have access to. So I've been blown away by just how versatile and how portable, how tiny this much power can be had to fill out the needs here in our Ross Monster. It is the perfect solution for what we're doing with our travels now full time, and being able to have emergency power when we're in off-grid locations for an extended period of time. In the time I've had with the Elite 300, there are one gripe and one potential issue down the road that I have discovered with it. My gripe is the screen. If you are in a darker environment like this, where there's not any type of direct sun anywhere, this screen is fantastic. It is a beautiful screen. It has all the needed information on it, but you take it outside where there's glare, the screen becomes almost unusable. It's very reflective, and that's true for most LCD screens. It's true for the camera that I'm shooting this video on. And I know that's just the nature of these screens, but I wish they could do some sort of anti-reflective coating on it, make it brighter. The brightness on the screen is not adjustable. That would be handy. Some way to make this screen usable outside where there's glare and sunlight and all that sort of stuff. Luckily, there is, Bluetti does have their app, which does allow you to see everything needed, not just right here next to it, but if this is here and we're in the back, I can check the status of it. If this is outside, topping off the batteries on the truck, but I can access all the information, turn ports on and off as needed. All that is available in the app. So no matter where I am in the truck, if I'm up here driving, need to check on things back here, all I got to do is pull up the app. I don't have to stop, turn around, and actually check it out. All the information is right here. I can turn the ports on and off. I can go into the settings. I can adjust charging modes. I can adjust screen timeouts. I can go into advanced settings, adjust amperage for grid charging. If I'm, like, say I'm maybe in a place and their outlets don't support 15 amps. So I can go in there and dumb that down to 10 amps, 12 amps, and still be able to charge my my Elite 300. I can change UPS functions, but I do love the app. It does make up for the fact that the screen is hardly usable in bright sunlight and where it's a lot of reflections and glare. The other thing that was where the Apex 300 shined is that it was expandable. The Elite 300 is not expandable. The Apex 300, you could buy expansion batteries and expand that out to like 50,000 watt hours if you needed to. This, there's no expansion to this. There's no way to plug in expansion batteries to this. So 3,014 watt hours is what you get. For our purposes in this setup, that's fine. It would be nice if, I mean, if you can cram 3,000 watt hours into a package this small with the inverter and with the DC charging ports and the 30 amp socket, I can't imagine how small of an expansion battery Bluetti could make with 3,000 watt hours if you take all that away and it's just an expansion battery to expand something like this. That would be incredible if that were an option, but it's not. Maybe in the future Bluetti can do that. Bluetti, if you're listening, that's a great idea. Hint, hint. But as far as for our purposes, how small this thing is, I think Bluetti, again, has knocked it out of the park. Two very minor gripes with this thing, but I think Bluetti has knocked it out of the park with cramming 3,000 watt hours into such a tiny package with a 30 amp plug, 140 watt USB-C port, 30 amp XT60 or XT90 output there. This power station is an absolute home run. If I were in the market and looking at 2,000 watt hour power stations, I would just get this because it's the same size, but you get another 1,000 watt hours in the Elite 300. So if you have any questions, any comments, please be sure and put them down below. Links, discount codes, all that sort of stuff is in the description for the Elite 300 and all of Bluetti's products. If you like what we're doing, you want to consider supporting the channel, gain access to special events, special content, all of our GPS data from our trips. Check out the Patreon link or here on the QR code. And if you want some merchandise, go to shopoverlandapparel.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.